Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're diving into something pretty cool, the world of ethical hacking. We're going to stage a digital heist, basically, and break down how companies actually hire people to attack their own systems. Why? To find the weak spots before the real bad guys do. All right, picture this. All of your company's most important data. It's locked away in a digital vault. You've built these super strong walls, you've got complex locks, but here's the million-dollar question. Are you really sure it's going to hold up against a serious attack? How do you even know? Well, you don't just sit around and wait to get hit, right? Instead, you call in a special kind of team. Think of them as professional lockpickers for the digital age. These are the ethical hackers. And their job? It's to think, act, and attack just like a real criminal would, to see if they can get in. And that whole process, this authorized attack, has a name. It's called a penetration test, or, as you'll hear all the time, a pen test. It's literally like hiring the best burglars on the planet to try and crack your vault. And you're not just watching, you're taking notes on every single move they make to learn how to make it stronger. Okay, so this is a really important point. A pen test is not the same as a simple vulnerability scan, not even close. Think of it like this. A vulnerability scan is like an automated system that just goes around checking if any windows are unlocked. But a pen test? That's when a real person finds that unlocked window, actually climbs through it, and starts poking around to see what they can get their hands on. Big difference. Now, this isn't just some chaotic free-for-all. Before the ethical heist can even begin, both sides have to agree on a very strict set of guidelines for the whole operation. People in the industry call this the rules of engagement. So rule number one is deciding how much info the testers get up front. You've got what's called a black box test. Here, the testers know absolutely nothing, just like a random hacker on the internet. And then you have a white box test. This is the complete opposite. They get the whole shebang, source code, network maps, you name it. This simulates what a malicious insider, someone who already knows the system, could do. All right, next up, where is the attack coming from? Is it an external test, someone on the outside trying to break down the castle walls? Or is it an internal test, which simulates a threat that's already inside, maybe a disgruntled employee who's got a login and is ready to do some damage? Okay, so the rules are set, the plan is in place, and now the ethical heist is on. The team gets to work, methodically probing all the digital defenses, looking for that very first crack in the armor. And this isn't just random hacking. There's a clear methodology here. So first, they got to scope out the application, kind of like casing the joint. Then they start testing the locks, the authentication systems. After that, it's all about trying to exploit any weak spots they find. And a huge goal here is to try and escalate their own privileges inside the system. And of course, at the very end, everything they find gets put into a super detailed report. One of the real holy grails for a pen tester is something called privilege escalation. Just imagine this. It's like a regular user with basic access, finding some kind of flaw that lets them steal an administrator's master key. Suddenly, their low-level key card works on every single door in the building. That's a huge problem. So once the test is over, the ethical hackers don't just pack up and vanish. Nope. They come back with a full debriefing, documenting every single unlocked door, every crack in the wall they found. And these findings get delivered in a really detailed report. The key thing here is that every single vulnerability gets a severity score. It's all ranked, from informational all the way up to critical. And what that does is give the company a crystal clear, prioritized to-do list of what to fix first. So check this out. This chart is actually from a real-world report. And it shows a pretty typical breakdown of what they find. You can see that, most of the issues were low risk. But look at that slice. 17% were high risk. Those are the ones that make you sit up and pay attention immediately. Let's make this even more real. Here's a perfect example of a high-severity finding. So in this test, they found that exact thing we were just talking about, a privilege escalation flaw. It turned out that a user with low-level data owner permissions could actually disable the main account owner, the most powerful account in the entire system. That is a massive critical failure. Right, so this brings us to the most important point of all. The whole goal of this ethical heist, it was never just about breaking in. The entire purpose is to give the company a detailed blueprint for making that digital vault stronger than it's ever been. And that report? It's not meant to just sit on a shelf and collect dust. It's a call to action. It's what's used to create a plan of actions and milestones, or a POAM. Basically, it's a formal roadmap for tracking and fixing every single weakness they found, making sure nothing falls through the cracks. But here's the thing, security is never a one-and-done deal. There's a great quote from the National Institute of Standards and Technology that says, an assessment is just a snapshot of security at a given point in time. And that's exactly right. And that's why security has to be a continuous process. A lot of industry standards, like the one for protecting credit card data, actually require companies to do a pen test at least once a year. And, this is important, they also have to do one after any big changes to their systems. Why? To make sure that some new update didn't accidentally leave a brand new door wide open for someone to walk right through. So, when you boil it all down, here's the takeaway. Every single organization has digital walls and locks protecting its data. Penetration testing is how you find out if those locks actually work before the bad guys do. So the real question isn't if you should test your locks, but who are you going to hire to test them for you?
Hey everyone, thanks for watching till the end. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and share it with your friends. Got a topic in mind? Drop it in the comments and we'll get creating. Thanks again and see you in the next one.